Hey friends, welcome back to Markelly Farms. We're in the kitchen again today. Remember that rhubarb that we picked the other day? Well, we're going to process it today, but we're going to do something really cool with it, something you may want to see. So kind of stick around here and we'll get to it. So we're standing in front of our crazy spice cabinet. Remember my spice addiction. Love the stuff. We're going to turn that rhubarb into rhubarb barbecue sauce. Something that's really good. Most people think rhubarb goes in desserts and they've got to mix it with strawberry. I'm actually a fan of rhubarb by itself and stuff. And rhubarb is one of those things, if you add enough sugar to it, you can make it sweet and make it good. And there's plenty of sugar in this recipe as well, which you will see. So let's get to it. It could not be any easier, folks. So in a big heavy pot, we're using our big Dutch oven. We're going to add 8 cups of chopped rhubarb. Now to our rhubarb, we're adding a half a cup of chopped onion, white or yellow. Next thing is 3.5 cups of brown sugar. I told you we were bringing the sugar, and we are. And then also 1/4 cup of white vinegar, 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar. We just have them together, measured them together in this measurement. And then also your spices is going to be 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of ginger, and 1 teaspoon of allspice. So we're just going to fire up our burner here. We're going to cook this down to where it becomes kind of a saucy consistency, cooking the rhubarb and the onions down as well. And then we're going to get in here with an immersion blender and smooth it out. So let's get to cooking. We've given our ingredients a little stir. We're cooking on medium-high heat, whichever you prefer. You just make sure you're not sticking to the bottom of your pan. Again, why you want to do it in a heavy bottom pot. And that beautiful red in that rhubarb is going to come out and mix with that brown of the brown sugar. And it's just going to be an amazing looking sauce. Now if you're not cooking on a wood grill or charcoal grill where you're not going to get the smoke, I would probably put about a teaspoon or more of liquid smoke into this, to say if you're just going to cook in your oven, to give it that good smoky flavor. Now we're obviously going to have too much of this to just use up in the fridge, so we're going to actually can some of it in pint jars. And I'm not going to get my big water bath canner out for only a couple jars. So whatever fits in probably 3 jars, and then we'll have leftover. We're actually even going to use that tonight. So we'll get our little mini canner going. It's just a stainless steel stock pot is all it is, and we put a little metal trivet in the bottom there. Okay, our rhubarb mixture has been simmering on low for about 20 minutes or so. The rhubarb and the onions have softened quite a bit. So we're going to get in here with our immersion blender. We've also got our canning jars. We got 4-pint jars. We have our lids in here. So once this gets boiling, those are all sterilized and will be ready to go. We've got our canning equipment over here on the ready. So let's get that blender out. Here's our immersion blender. Love these. You can do it right in the pot. You don't have to dump it out in a regular blender. Get our beautiful rich barbecue sauce. I like to keep the sides of my pan scraped down. Now we're going to simmer this till it coats our spoon well. So we're almost there. Doesn't take very much. And remember, as this cools, it's going to get a lot thicker. So we're just about there. I've cranked up the heat on our canner deal over here. We're about ready to jar it up. All right, we're going to do a little taste. Make sure we're on point here. Spot on. We're perfect. Now if you like your barbecue sauce to have a little kick, You can turn up the heat on your barbecue sauce, of course. We're going to go for a sweeter version for we're going to use on chicken or ribs. But some people like a kick. You could go with some chili powder, like start out with like a teaspoon of chili powder. We've done a recipe for you before that had some chili powder in it. Or any spice that you like. You could go with some hot pepper sauce in here to kick it up a little bit. You could throw some actual peppers in here. Seed a jalapeno or 2 or 3 or habanero and cook it down with the rest of your veggies in here. It'll come out just fine. Okay, we filled 2-pint jars. We got another 2 jars in here just to take up space. We're going to start a 10-minute timer on that. And then we have 1 refrigerator jar here that we're going to start using. We'll use some of that tonight. So 10 minutes at sea level. We're going to go 15 minutes because we're above a couple thousand feet here. Okay, timer's up on our canning. We'll turn this baby off. We're going to let that sit for good 5-10 minutes before we take the jars out. Okay, we got our jars out of the pot. Got hard water on them. I forgot to put the vinegar in the pot again, but that rinses right off under the sink when we get to putting them away. So I've got some of our smoked chicken that we made the other day. I'm going to heat it up in this pan. Put a little bit of our barbecue sauce in there. Make a barbecue chicken wrap. Heating up our chicken now. Got it pulled a little bit. You can see how thick our barbecue sauce got. So we're just going to add some to the pan. Heat it back up on that chicken. Quick little stir and we're all done with that. Quick and easy meal. And there's supper, just that easy. Doesn't that look terrific? So Kelly's home and we're going to eat. So I hope you see how easy this recipe is making barbecue sauce out of rhubarb. Rhubarb is another one of those perennials that are just fantastic to have in your yard. Just like asparagus. Pops up in the spring and says hello and says, I'm here, without really any work from you. So get those perennials planted in your yard and I hope you try this recipe. So until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. Come back and see us here at Markelly Farm. We love you guys. Bye.